G'day folks, Matt here from Global Economic Insights, diving into a topic that's got the whole world on edge. Will China rule Taiwan by 2027? Now before we jump into this geopolitical boxing match, let's understand why this tiny island is such a big deal for China. Imagine a world where your favorite gadgets suddenly become ridiculously expensive. Not a pretty picture, right? Well, that's what could happen if China takes control of Taiwan. See, Taiwan is the silicon heart of the world, producing most of the microchips that power everything from smartphones to laptops, cars, and even fridges. So economically, Taiwan's a heavyweight. But it's not just about the chips. Taiwan is like that annoying neighbor who throws awesome parties that you're not invited to. It's a thriving democracy right on China's doorstep, a symbol of freedom and capitalism that challenges the Communist Party's narrative. For China, Taiwan is a constant reminder of a historical wound, a breakaway province that needs to be brought back into the fold. President Xi Jinping sees reunification with Taiwan as a key part of his China dream. He's made it clear that he's willing to use force if necessary. And let's be honest, China's military muscle has been getting bigger and stronger, like a kangaroo on steroids. This has everyone from Washington to Tokyo sweating a bit. So yeah, the stakes are high, folks, very high. Now, if China does decide to flex its military muscles, who's likely to stand up for Taiwan? The most obvious candidate is the good old US of A. They've been Taiwan's main protector for decades, selling them weapons and promising to help if things get ugly. It's like that big brother who always has your back, even if they sometimes borrow your stuff without asking. But the US isn't the only player in this game. Japan, Australia, and even countries in Europe are increasingly worried about China's growing power. They see Taiwan as a crucial line in the sand. If China crosses it, who knows who they'll come for next? It's like that scene in a Western movie where the townsfolk band together to face the outlaw gang. Then there's the wildcard Russia. They're like that unpredictable uncle who shows up to family gatherings with a twinkle in his eye and a bottle of vodka in hand. Russia and China have been getting cozy lately, but whether they'd actually back China in a conflict over Taiwan is anyone's guess. They might just sit back and enjoy the show while sipping their vodka. Here's the scary part. A conflict over Taiwan could be the spark that ignites a global conflict. Imagine a massive brawl breaking out at a family barbecue, but instead of sausages and potato salad flying through the air, it's missiles and drones. Not a pretty picture, right? China taking over Taiwan would shatter the status quo in Asia like dropping a bull in a china shop. It would send shock waves through the global economy and could even drag the US and its allies into a direct confrontation with China. We're talking about a potential World War III scenario here, folks. And let's not forget about North Korea, that unpredictable neighbor who's always up for a bit of mischief. They might see a conflict over Taiwan as an opportunity to cause trouble, like that annoying kid who throws firecrackers at the family dog during the barbecue. It's a recipe for chaos, and nobody wants to see that happen. Now, let's say China does manage to take over Taiwan. What happens then? Well, first off, the global economy would take a massive hit. Remember those expensive gadgets we talked about? Yeah, get ready to pay even more for your tech. China would become the undisputed superpower in Asia, calling the shots and throwing its weight around. Think of it like that big dominant kangaroo that rules the outback, hopping around with a swagger and making sure everyone knows who's boss. The US and its allies would be forced to rethink their entire strategy in the region. They'd have to find new ways to counter China's growing influence, which could lead to increased military spending, trade wars, and all sorts of other fun stuff. It's like a high-stakes game of chess, and the pieces are moving fast. So will China rule Taiwan by 2027? Honestly, mate, it's a tough call. There are so many factors at play, and predicting the future is a mug's game. But one thing's for sure, the situation in Taiwan is a powder keg, and any spark could set it off. The world is watching with bated breath, hoping that cooler heads will prevail. The decisions made by leaders in Beijing, Washington, Taipei, and other capitals around the world will determine the fate of Taiwan and the future of global peace and security. Let's just hope they make the right choices, because the consequences of getting it wrong are too terrible to contemplate. Well, folks, that's my take on the Taiwan situation. It's a complex issue with no easy answers, but hopefully this gives you a better understanding of what's at stake. Stay tuned and keep your fingers crossed for peace.